Welcome back to the Tracie Trendy Show, my lovelies. It's another day, it's another dollar, and it's another low down dirt on life after lockup. My loves, let's get to crack-a-lacking because first on the docket is Courtney and Will. Yes, she's 2 weeks out of the pokey. Now, that's her like pokey from breaking the rules at the halfway house. So she had to get out of the halfway house to go back to jail. So 2 weeks out of the pokey. And Courtney will have to do their exit interview. And she comes rolling up with a new dude. At first, Will was thinking maybe, they could rekindle something. But once he saw her rolling up with a new dude, that kind of blew that out the water. All right, it blew it out because Courtney could get two snaps about it, could care less. So they're doing this interview, and Will, his feelings were just crumbling. He was like, the producers were asking these questions, and she was saying, no, this is not no boyfriend or anything. And he was like, you're lying, pants on fire. And Will was also feeling like, dang it, lady, you easily move on. And he's doing all the legwork in that marriage. He did all of the legwork. But the reason he was feeling a little extra salty during this ex's interview is come to find out that they got between the sheets the night before. But I think no brownie points were earned. No brownie points. Because even though they hit the sheets, Courtney still rolled up with a new dude. So that was what put a bug in Will's bonnet. And they get to arguing, and he gets to step it out the interview room. And Courtney just chops it up to the game. I mean, won't be her first and it won't be her last sucker. All right, moving on to Demadric, Juela, and Kiana. Now, this is like a split screen. Well, Juela is coming to Demadric's house, and his pappy is saying, hey, baby mama. And she's like, hello, I got a name. Juela. Okay? And in the meantime, Demadric and Kiana is meeting the investigator as well as her attorney. And in both scenes, they're all talking about the situation about the car vandalism. And what is up for discussion is whether or not Joela's going to drop the charges. And she says, well, there will be some consideration if and only if Miss Kiana repays me for the contents in my car. Okay? Y'all just replace tires. I need the content replaced. Kiana thinks it's just a money game. And she says, whoa. And also, I want a one-on-one with her. So Kiana, she ain't feeling it. She's not feeling it. And her investigator and attorney says the ball is in Joela's court. So I don't know what Kiana's going to do. I don't even know why she's found guilty, got a warrant and everything. But I guess some states, they play that way. They don't need a trial. They just give you a warrant if someone comes up there accusing you. I guess I learned something new every day. My loves, next on the docket, next is JK and Brooke. Oh, man, goodness. I don't even know why Brooke is still up in this situation. Because out of her own mouth, she says JK is paying her dust. He's not answering phones. She hardly sees them. But I guess she needs some of that money from the Love After Lockup money. That's what she needs. So in the meantime, JK is rolling up to Alex. And, they're talking over things. She said it was already 50-50 last week that he could be the pappy. And you know what? She doesn't really want to talk to him anymore because he pretty much kind of like shut down when she had to deal with the miscarriage. And suddenly, he rolls around. They get back to the screwing, and now he wants to know about this baby. And she said, you can just be ghost just like you were before. But he says, it's not easy because she wants him to drop Brooke because you got your time split between too many women. You got to drop Brooke. And he says, and you know what? I have allegiance to Brooke. She was my ride or die in prison while you was out there screwing other dudes. Yes, you helped my family out and did this, that, and the fifth, but I can't trust you. And in the meantime, Brooke is screaming, literally screaming on his voicemail to answer his damn phone. But he's not really studying Brooke. I think he likes Alex, and he just has that allegiance to Brooke, and he's not going to go out of his way for her. So anyway, he leaves Alex's spot, and he goes back to his mama's house, and he tells his parents, his stepdaddy and his mama, that you know what, he might be a pappy himself with Alex's baby. And they're like, wait a minute, you told us not to mess with her, not to talk to her or anything. Come to find out, you dipping and doing it with her, and could be the pappy to her baby. And he said, yeah, that is true. And you know what? They can't find out any answers. But when that baby is born, his mama said, you better do DNA all the way. So in the meantime, JK, he's had enough. He's had enough for the day. He just had a confrontation with Alex. He had a confrontation with his folks. He just wants to wash the day away and get in the shower. He said, if Brooke comes a calling, just say I ain't here. And his mama says, I'm not going to lie for your ass. I am not. I'm not going to do it. And as soon as that was said, Brooke is already like a hound dog, okay? And she comes up there in those raggedy ass shorts at his mama's house, banging on the door, banging and pounding on that door. And in reality, Brooke needs to go to her own house, to pound on that door and open it up. And then roll up to a place of employment. Now, I know she's working for DoorDash, but she could take some more gigs so she can keep a roof over their heads and some little spare change on top of that as well. So anyway, she is had the choice originally. She was at a fork in the road. She could have went to Alex's house or to JK's mama's house. She was saying, she literally stopped and thought about it. But I guess she didn't want any Alex's smoke. So she went on to JK's mama's house. Okay, she didn't want any of that beating. So she turns to JK's mama house. She's like a battering ram, and she's doing a lot of yelling outside on the porch. And they live in a quiet community. And stepdaddy says that relationship that JK has with Brooke is toxic. So he need to get out. And so anyway, Brooke, she's gone ballistic because she has no communication with JK. He is ghosting her. So I would think she would pick up a hint, but nah, she ain't letting up easy. I guess JK's the only dude in town. But anyway, she barges in the house. She finds JK. They're yelling and screaming. No respect for his mama's house. Yelling and screaming. Then they go out on the porch to just yell and scream. And she's barraging him with questions. And he's about to spill the beans that Alex might be carrying his child. And before he could say it, my loves, the po-po show up. Oh my goodness. We're going to have to find out next week. Unfortunately, it's the last episode of the season finale. Oh my goodness, my loves. We got to stay tuned. But I personally don't think Alex is carrying his child. But I just want to see the expression on Brooke's face when he says Alex might be carrying his child. Moving on to Leticia and Keith. Now, Leticia, she got some charges, or a charge right now she's facing. She has more than one, but for this episode, she's just pretending like she just got one case. And she's kind of worried about this one. And her attorney says the charges are not dropped. And now she's scared because she did some time. She did 8 months in prison for something she did in her past. And she swore up and down she's never going to be taken away from her kids. But you know what? The court could look at her past and give her time, whether or not she wants to leave her kids again or not. They could get a rat's behind about that. But anyway, her attorney comes up with a plea, and she's hoping the judge accepts it. But that's not a guarantee, So she's talking to Keith, And she hopes he will stand by her. And he's like, wait a minute, you didn't stand by me my whole time. You were just there for some of the time, not the whole time. And she's like, wait a minute now. I did time right up there with you. I dropped everything for you. And he's hemming and hawing. But in her heart's her heart, she knows men aren't built that way. They're not going to be standing by their women, just like she stood by her man. They're not built like that. So anyway, she and Keith, they go to court. Lucky for her, she got probation and restitution. But she didn't beat the case. She just beat prison, as she said. So next on the agenda is a wedding. And I'm like, lady, you got other charges. You just forget that wedding, put it to the side. All right. Now, moving on, next on the docket is Zaria and Troy. Now, Zaria is having a baby. Nobody knows it at this point but Troy and her. Now, she has told her parents. She has not told his mama, Karen. He ain't told that. But in the meantime, Troy finds out, he's smoothing things over with Anya, the baby mama. He finds out, yeah, she's cool, but she wants Zaria, aka Cirilla, to stay in her lane when it comes to their daughter. So yeah, he can come see the kid, but be cool. Keep your woman under wraps. Now, she is 6 months pregnant. Zaria is 6 months pregnant. So they have to tell Karen. Karen's like, oh, he says, guess what? And Karen's like, what? You and Zarilla broke up? He says, no. Come down here and I'll tell you what's the real deal. And I'm surprised. Yes, they made announcement, Zarilla and Troy, that she was pregnant, but I saw her in a haze of weed smoke. And I hope this baby, I know it's born healthy. She just had the baby a month ago. And physically, the baby's healthy, but I don't know brain-wise. I mean, because you cannot be around that weed smoke. You just can't. Allegedly. Because that was posted on Reddit, a picture of her looking like she was smoking some weed. Okay. I don't know what it was. It was just posted on Reddit. I'm just saying. And hey, I don't know. Moving on to Justine and Mike. Justine is out here being a little tourist in New York, okay, wearing these wacky glasses, spending a little bit of change that they should be saving because they are here trying to look for venues for the $60,000 wedding. And Mike is out here stressing and asking his mama to drop him $1,000 because he's like, I can make that money real quick if I just sold some candy. But in the meantime, the tea is that Sherry, Justine's mom, she got arrested for a DUI. And not only that, she is a registered nurse and she works at a convalescent hospital for seniors. And she kept rolling out of the place and going in her car and drinking. And going back on her shift and going back and drinking. And patients are missing their medication. My loves, Justine's mom, Sherry, needs to get her stuff together. Because in the meantime, her nursing license got suspended. So I don't know, Justine and Mike can't ask for any money nor donations for this wedding. Because mama got a situation. Moving on to the end, my love, of the show, the Tracie Trendy Show. What do you guys think? I mean, it was a lot this episode. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed JK and Brooke. They bring it every episode, but we got one more episode. It's going to be the end. It's going to be the season finale. Also, Kiana, Joella, and Demadric brought it as well. But what do you guys think of this episode, my love? Share your thoughts, okay? Hit that notification bell. Always like the video because, YouTube plays tricks, my loves, and we got to gather them, all right? I'm going to catch you guys out on the flip side because at the end of this video, it never ends. We talking some smack down below in the comments section, my loves, and I'm going to catch you all out on the flip side and later for now.